He drove down 75 South and took the ramp to 35 West. There was no sign of danger. Police shut down the ramp and did find a single bullet casing. Their theory now is that those two cars may have come off 75 northbound onto 35 West and possibly been involved in a road rage incident where someone fired a weapon. The bottom line is a woman that graduated from Centerville High School and was a devoted mother has left a 4-year-old daughter behind. Officers also said that it was a flock camera out near the airport that first noticed the car that was following, and that's where they started gathering information that led them to the shooter. Renetta Lyles said all the wrong decisions in this case leaves a little girl without a mother and leaves her without her daughter.
She was loving, she was caring, she would do anything for anybody that anybody asked. One thing for certain, she loved her daughter.
"26-year-old Jermia Lau, affectionately known as Mia by family and friends, was a hard-working young woman with a calm, easygoing, and beautiful spirit. While studying at the University of Toledo, she balanced 2 jobs. Recently, she was hired as a certified nursing assistant at Arcadia Care and had applied to an LPN program. Above all, she was the devoted mother of a 4-year-old daughter, whom she shared with her best friend and on-and-off boyfriend of about 8 years. The two had met at church over 8 years ago. Jermia had a close bond with her family and friends, who described her as nothing short of amazing. Things were looking up for Jermia. Life was going good. No one could have ever predicted the chain of events that would soon unfold. Around 7 a.m. on September 21st, Dayton police were dispatched to Miami Valley Hospital to investigate after a shooting victim arrived.
This is a tragedy, and the circumstances are almost impossible to comprehend. They came off 75 southbound onto 35 west right here, and about 7:15 Saturday morning, the driver heard a shot, then heard his 26-year-old girlfriend screaming she'd been shot. She would die, despite the fact he immediately jumped off 35 west onto this exit ramp at James H. McGee Boulevard and drove her straight to the hospital.
The victim was identified as 26-year-old Jermia Lau, who was sadly succumbed to her injuries, shot while riding in the backseat of her boyfriend's car with their 4-year-old daughter. Police confirmed that Jermia's boyfriend picked up a rideshare passenger from the area of the airport before heading down Interstate 75 and taking the ramp to westbound US 35. Initially, there was no sign of danger. However, things quickly turned left. Jermia's boyfriend told police he saw 2 cars exit onto Germantown Street right after he heard the shot. Police shut down the ramp and did find a single bullet casing. Police's initial theory is that those 2 cars may have come off of I-75 North onto US 35 West and had possibly been involved in a road rage incident where someone fired a weapon. Police believe the 2 cars that immediately exited after the gunshots were fired were a blue Impala and a white car. Both police and family were left shook.
My granddaughter lost her mom. My son is broken.
Jason Bates Sr. told me his son, Jason Bates Jr., called him Saturday morning screaming that he was driving his girlfriend to the hospital. Her social media profile confirms Jermia Lyle had just turned 26. Their shared 4-year-old daughter was next to her in the back seat. The random bullet that flew through the trunk of the car hit Jermia, taking her life.
I'm standing on business for her. I want to know who did this.
Please pay attention if you know anything or you saw anything or heard anything.
Dayton Police Major Brian John said they need community help to solve this case.
Insane is my only words. I just don't understand.
Just days after the shooting, officers would announce the arrest of 23-year-old Noah Corbett and the details of what really went down that day. Apparently, Corbett and another man, who just so happened to be the Uber passenger in Jermia's boyfriend's car, got into a heated argument over money. After the man was picked up by Jermia's boyfriend, Corbett followed the vehicle into the area of I-75 and US 35 before firing at least 1 shot towards the vehicle. The bullet from Corbett's gun went through the trunk and out the back seat, striking Jermia, killing her instantly as she sat next to her 4-year-old daughter. Although Jermia's mother is coping with the reality of her daughter's senseless and untimely murder, she says she wished her boyfriend could have taken her home first before picking up someone else. In the words of Prosecutor Heck, Corbett shot at another vehicle because of a dispute over money, killing a completely innocent young mother and leaving a precious 4-year-old girl without her mom. The defendant absolutely has no respect for the lives or safety of others.
Disheartening. It makes me angry. It makes me frustrated.
Renetta Lyles received the worst calls of her life last Saturday morning. She drove straight to the hospital after learning her daughter Jermia had been shot.
It was a devastating moment to have to go to the hospital and have a police officer put you in a different room so that you can wait to talk to a doctor.
Lyles said she never got to see her beautiful daughter alive. She says Jermia and her 4-year-old daughter were riding with the little girl's father. She wishes the driver would have taken Jermia and the 4-year-old home before picking up a private rideshare near the airport. That fare got into the front passenger seat, but he'd apparently just had an argument with a co-worker.
The suspect in this case did follow the victim's vehicle when she was riding in from the airport.
Police gathered evidence, finding the shell casing that they think hit the vehicle and Jermia Lyle. They eventually served a search warrant, finding a gun and arresting 23-year-old Noah Corbett for suspicion of involvement in the crime.
Decisions bring about consequences.
Renetta Lyles said all the wrong decisions in this case leaves a little girl without a mother and leaves her without her daughter.
She was loving. She was caring. She would do anything for anybody that anybody asked. One thing for certain, she loved her daughter.
26-year-old Jermia Lyle was laid to rest on October 12th at the Deliverance Temple Ministries in Dayton, Ohio. 23-year-old Noah Corbett is being held at the Montgomery County Grand Jury on a $1 million bond. He is being charged with 2 counts of murder, 1 count of discharge of a firearm on or near prohibited premises, and 5 counts of felonious assault. Rest in peace, Jermia Lyle.
My deepest condolences, and that is City of Dayton go out to the victim in that case, Miss Jermia Lyle, who lost her life that morning with her child present. But thankfully, due to some great work by our Dayton Police Homicide detectives and officers here at Dayton PD, we did make an arrest yesterday in that case. So that case will be going and being charged either later today or tomorrow. But thankfully, an arrest was made in that case, and we could provide some closure to Ms. Lyle's family, that there is an arrest and hopefully a conviction in that case. We do know that thankfully to technology, this case was solved. I would, just state the flock camera system that the city of Dayton has and other cities have, like around the airport, helped solve the case. And also the use of NIBIN, which is a National Integrated Ballistic Identification Network system that we have here. Thanks to the ATF who gave that to us, we actually, solved this case. So we do know that Miss Lyle, from our investigation, was not the intended target. It does appear this homicide occurred as a result of an ongoing dispute our front seat passenger in that motor vehicle had with a co-worker that had been, going on for a little bit of time. And we do know that the suspect in this case did follow the victim's vehicle when she was riding in from the airport to 35 off-ramp 175, where the suspect fired several shots at the vehicle, ultimately striking our victim and killing her. So I'll take a few questions on the case. As we mentioned earlier, it's being charged either later today or tomorrow morning. And we can't provide the name. I can let you know that our suspect in this case is 23 years of age, and he is from Dayton, Ohio.
Earlier, you didn't see any road rage incidents, so this person was kind of hanging back a little bit?
Correct. Thanks to the flock cameras, we were able to identify that the suspect vehicle, which was indeed a blue Impala, which we recovered. We also recovered the firearm used in this case. We do know that vehicle was traveling, I'd probably say about 10 seconds or so behind our victim's vehicle as it left the area of the airport and traveling into the city of Dayton on 75. No road rage, just kind of like driving behind the victim's vehicle.
And then the front seat passenger was this person, we believe, intended target, but he fired from behind the car. I mean, he never pulled up beside it or anything like that, right?
Correct. Yeah, the rounds were fired from the rear of the victim's vehicle.
Wasn't the person in the passenger seat, last time we talked, he was the one that was at the hospital and then left the hospital. Did you guys ever get in contact with him?
We did.
Okay.
We did, and that helped in the case as well. Yeah, so.
Was he driving the vehicle, the shooter?
The blue Impala was
Correct.
the driver?
Yes.
He was shooting and driving?
Yes.
Even if the driver was the target,
he would have wrecked, right? Oh, the shooter was the passenger.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, whoever he shot at would have caused an accident, right? All right, he was after the passenger, not the driver. Is that what I mean?
We believe from our investigation, the intended target in the shooting was a front seat passenger
Okay, that's why-
in the victim's vehicle who was getting a ride from a business up by the airport to Dayton.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
okay.
misunderstood.
It's confusing.
So you were able to get a hold of that front seat passenger, and they were able to give you the information that kind of helped lead.
Well, I would say we were able to do follow-up and get information from that angle. We were also able to use information from the Blue Impala on flock camera to identify our suspect. And from that, a search warrant was served, the car was recovered, as well as the firearm. And NIBIN ties that firearm to our shooting scene.
And to the shell casing that you recovered?
Correct.
Okay. But you said now it appears there were several shots fired.
We believe 2.
Did any of the other shots hit the victim's vehicle?
We don't believe so. Just the one.
Okay. But if he fired several shots, you could have had more people in that car injured.
Could have, yes.
You know.
Yeah, we're really. I mean, it's.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. The shooting is just. If you look at the last 4 homicides we've had here in the city of Dayton, all 4 of those victims have pretty much just been like bystanders. It starts with the young girl in her bed. We have the guy at Summit Square who was just standing out there. We had our victim here who was just in the backseat of a car with her child. And we had the one Sunday as well where the guy was just standing on the street and was shot and killed. So it goes back to, like we talked about a couple days ago, like reckless behavior, like dealing with conflict. This is a dispute over some money that in the grand scheme of things isn't very much money to take somebody's life over. And now this guy will have to live with that and be held accountable for his actions. So.
You anticipate maybe later today charges may be approved against the person you took into custody?
It'll be either later today or tomorrow morning.